When
Oh God.
you want to celebrate something with someone, right? You're like, oh, I got some good news. I got, this thing happened and I'm really excited and I want to share it with somebody. Who do you call?
My mother. My mother, hands down. My mother or my brother.
What
One of
is
my
the
brothers.
last thing that you were excited about that you shared with them?
Um, Probably. What was the last thing I was excited about? Oh wow, that's a therapy question. Um, Probably. Oh my God, I don't know. What was the last thing I
Have
shared
we
with you?
have we stopped celebrating ourselves?
What was the last thing I shared with you?
I mean, from today or previously?
Like previously, I guess.
Because you
I can't
started
remember.
paying. You started. Let's see. You started paying management. You are not
Yeah.
getting a tattoo in the coming months, but the job situation of
Mhm.
you being promoted to supervisor, that
Yeah.
was one.
Yeah, that was one. I guess the last thing that I was like excited about was probably just like record store finds that I found that I like going to record stores and finding stuff like that.
Hmm.
Those are the last things that I was excited about. And with that, I called both my brothers to set that up because like one of them was a record that my older brother had been looking for, a Parliament record
Hmm.
for a while. He just told me like I just need Parliament records, so I found one. Then I also found the band's album on
I
vinyl
saw that post.
for five
I didn't
dollars.
even.
I owned the CD too back when it first came out.
Why?
It was actually an album.
It was an album, but that
I
doesn't
almost
mean
said it
you
was a
had to
good album.
purchase it. Why would you?
Almost. Look, okay.
Is it for the nostalgia?
Today, well, yeah, for the vinyl, I bought that for
Yes.
nostalgia. It was $5. Like, come on. For the the CD that I bought when they first came out, in retrospect, I can't say why I bought it. I just can't. Uh,
Hmm.
I can't. Um, it was a decision that Jason made, and it's a decision that Jason has had to live with for some time. Um, it's not something I can rectify now. I need you to forgive me. In hindsight, I hope you can find it in your heart to
I
forgive me.
mean, I guess I can pray on it.
Whew, thank
I
God.
can try to let that go. I can try to let that go.
Yeah, I think that's well. No, okay. Actually, the last thing that I was really like excited about was and celebrated was like the first time I did 10 miles on the exercise bike. Because
Oh
for me,
wow.
that's sort of become my norm now. I've had to dial it back because I like to do it every day. So I'm like at
Hmm.
7 now each day. But that hitting the 10 mile mark the first two times was a celebrate something that I celebrated because it's a marker of how far I've come with like the pain management stuff and building my endurance and stuff. So that was it. That
Okay.
was about 2 weeks ago. Okay, see, it took me a minute to get there. It took me a minute.
How did you celebrate it?
Gummy.
You took a trip and just
Yeah,
decided to take a trip. Hey,
took a
yeah,
little trip.
yeah. You
Took a
gotta
little trip,
celebrate
and
yourself.
actually,
Find little
just a
ways.
little celebration for myself. I patted myself on the back. I just cheered myself on, like, "Hey, you did that. You did that. Now rest. It's okay." And just talking myself up, really. And then the gummy came later in the day.
Ah,
I can't
okay.
do midday gummies.
We got things to do.
Yeah, most of
we
the time.
got things to do. We got to be
What's
at
the
the
last?
ready in case.
What was the last thing you celebrated?
So this period of time has been very hard for me to find reasons to celebrate.
Mhm.
Even when I do have wins, it was hard for me to find somebody who I would like to bother with
Mm,
that.
bother.
Yeah, okay, so I'll just say, um, oh, last week I got I applied, or no, sorry, 2 weeks ago I applied for a program called Professional Skills Training with my job, where they take managers, leaders, etc., and put them like in project management spaces, which is what I realized. Thank you, Antilanetta, is what I want to do it for my career is project
Mhm.
management. Um, and I got into it hoping to connect with more people across the company. And so I applied. The application, a breeze because
Mhm.
I'm me. But it was just like I
Uh,
thought because they put a limit of like 3 pages, and I was like, how much are people writing? And I realized that I can say things very succinctly if I want to. When I'm
mhm.
speaking more professionally, it's easier for me to say things in a more succinct manner. But um, but when I sent it off to an alumni, I said, "Hey, is this good? Because I it's only a page and a quarter." And she said, "No, it looks great." Okay, no problem. I submitted it. They accepted the application and told me that I moved on to the next round. And I was just like, "Oh, I got the interview." And then as soon as I read the email, I was like, "I want to call." I don't know who to call. I want to and yes, there are people in my life who I can call to celebrate. So if you are listening, don't feel slighted. I just didn't feel like there was anybody in my life who I wanted to bother with the news because the excitement wouldn't be shared because I would have to first tell you what the program is, give you the background of the program, and it kind of like deflates the celebration toward the end. So I kind of just like held that in because they said, "Oh, you have an interview on Friday." I said, "Okay, cool." I did the interview. Interview went great, and they told me they'll let me know. They'll let me know this week if I got into the program. So,
I'm excited
yay!
for you. Yay!
But
I'm
the
excited
last
for
thing
you. I
I
wish there was a confetti button on here. Like I could get
oh, it's
something and
not
confetti would drop. Like that would be cool.
the last thing I shared, I think, um, my sister and her family was there when I joined church on Sunday,
Mhm.
and I shared with my mom. I gotta call my dad because I completely forgot to call him today to tell him that I joined church. But yeah, that was probably like the last thing that I shared. And um I just don't like I feel like in this point in my life
Mhm.
where I am and all the growth and all that kind of stuff, it makes it hard because I'm so bogged down by everything else to feel like I can bother somebody.
See, there's that word you keep saying bother.
I don't want to reach out, and then if I send a text, and we know how busy we can get, and
Mhm.
it takes 3 days to be like, oh snap, I missed the text, and then yeah,
Why are you gonna call me out like that?
I'm just I didn't say any names. I didn't did you say I didn't say any names. That wasn't me. I didn't say any names. I just said I didn't want to send a text, and then 3 days later I get a text about I get a it's not even that I get a text back. I'll send a message out, and then 3 days later I'll get a meme or a reel or a reaction to a story, but not a response via text or a phone call back. So when I say I don't want to bother somebody,
In my defense,
that's what I mean.
I have general anxiety disorder. Okay.
Same. I mean,
No, I'll do better with that. I'm gonna do better with that.
we've only been saying this for a few years, but it's okay. I
Look,
know who you
and
are, and
I had been doing well. You have to give me that. I have been on
yes,
top of things.
yes. But like I
I'll do
said,
better.
because I mean, in we're both like growing in the
Mhm.
spaces that we're in, and so that's why I say when I don't want to bother people, like I know my siblings
Stop
are
saying
busy. I
bother. I'm gonna
know
throw
my
something at you.
I know my parents are busy. I know that my friends are busy because they have so much going on, and so I try to just like kind of wait in the wings and be like, hey, if they reach out, then cool. But I'll send out a text and be like, hey, make sure you're still alive, all that good stuff. Oh, I see you posting on social media. That's great. And we'll catch up and chat when we have time. But I don't want to be burdensome.
You're one of the
To
middle children, aren't you?
I am one of the oldest.
But not the oldest.
I'm not the oldest, no.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Checks
No.
out. Okay.
Yeah. And
Checks out.
either
The
said
middle
I am not the oldest. I
the
am
middle
either the second oldest or I am the fourth oldest.
the middle
Yeah.
child never wants to bother. Never wants to be a bother. I will do better.
Well, I know how imposing I can be. because of my extrovertedness. I
Just
try to.
accept my I will do better. Don't make excuses for people not
I'm
showing up for you.
no, it's not even. It's not that I'm making an excuse for people not showing up because, and I don't think that's fair to say that people are not showing up. I think it's more fair to say that I take away the opportunity for people to show up because I don't want to be in a situation where it's kind of a, well, there's something better, so I'm going to choose that thing over you
Mhm,
kind of thing. And so I just kind of, which my sister and I talked about was, she's just like, just give me the choice. Like, let
mhm,
me tell you no.
mhm.
Don't make the choice for me. And I'm just like, yeah, but you got your family. She's like, let me say no. Still ask. And I was just like, but also I don't want to bother you. So-
I thought about another thing that I celebrated recently.
we got celebrations going on.
Yeah. So another thing that I've celebrated recently is my reducing my contact insertion time. Like today was less than 30 seconds. It was like
Look at
maybe
you.
45.
Because
Well,
first it
no,
was what,
45
like
seconds. So
six
it was like,
minutes?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
closer to 20, but
Mm.
maybe
What are you
30.
what are you doing for 30 minutes? Like you put the thing on your hand, you wet the thing, you clean the thing, you
Hmm.
open your eye,
And
pop
then
the
just
thing
keep
in.
trying to.
Do you like what helps me is keeping
So
the eye open and put it directly on. I just really touch
I
my eyes,
can't
my
do that.
eyeball.
You
I
shouldn't
just
do
really
that.
touch my eyeball.
Kind of, you shouldn't do that.
I'm
I
so
can't
used to
look at
putting
it.
contacts in though.
I put it on the white of my eye instead, and then sort of I found that if I
Oh,
wiggle
move it
my
around.
wiggle my at first I wasn't wiggling my finger, but I saw a TikTok where it said wiggle your finger and it'll release.
Mm.
Because the main problem that I had, folding wasn't an issue, nothing like that. It just wouldn't let go of my finger. Um,
Oh, it wasn't wet enough.
yeah, so I
Yeah,
douse
you
it
got to use
and
more
then
what's called solution.
yeah, I douse it and then I wiggle my finger, or I'll just wiggle my eyeball a little bit and it'll just
Mhm.
let go, and then I'll
That's
do
so
this to
much
make sure it
work.
doesn't fall out.
That's so much work. The hardest
Look,
part for me is getting
45
the contacts
seconds, not
out.
bad.
It takes me about 10 minutes to get my contacts out.
Yeah, to take them out, I just kind of fold my eyelid and just use my eyelid to to create the
That would burn.
no, it doesn't burn. No, I just you not fold the eyelid. I just kind of push the eyelid into my eye and then just use it to
Just
scoop it.
fighting with our eyeballs. Just give me some
Yeah.
glasses. I'll be okay.
Yeah. There's a thing where if I do this to my eye. Okay, when I was trying to take my contact out during the fitting,
Uh-huh.
I accidentally pinched the white of my eye, and I swore to myself that I would never do that again, so I haven't even attempted that again.
But that's how I take mine out. I lift my eyeball open and then I take my fingers and I take it out like that on the eye pupil iris thing. Just
It's
pop it
barbaric.
out. Just pop it out. It's better than like fishing for it with a Q-tip.
Who does that?
I saw a TikTok. Or not TikTok, Instagram before. This was
Who the
before
hell is putting
TikTok.
Q-tips? Look, if they don't want you to put Q-tips in your ears, what do you think they will say about putting Q-tips in your eyes? Let's think.
Oh, no.
We're
Well, hey
15 minutes
everyone.
in.
Welcome
So,
to another episode of Take a Space podcast. I'm your host, Leah, joined by my co star,
that's me.
Jason.
That's me. That's me.
It is springtime.
It
And
is.
with it being spring, I actually did a TikTok back in January, around the beginning of the year. And so many people were doing vision boards and setting goals, and it was all these trendy things. And so the TikTok pretty much said that, like, it's still dark outside. Like, it gets dark at 4 o'clock. Why
Hmm.
are we trying to set new goals? Why are we starting new habits? Why are we setting ourselves up for failure so early in the year?
Hmm.
Let's go ahead, take a nap. Let's wait till it warms up. We'll come back to the drawing board and try again.
We're still hibernating. It's okay.
Yeah. Like, it's okay. Let's not do that in January. So I feel like now that um I feel like now that we're in April, and we're in the thick of spring, like
Mhm.
now's the time, now that the weather is warmer, like the sun is out a lot longer.
Yeah.
People are planting things. People are trying things. Like now's the time to try to develop new habits. You're more
Hmm.
likely to stick with a habit when you have that energy to keep going. So whether it's you, wanting to do a half a mile walk a day, whether it's you wanting to bike, 7 miles a day, or whether it's juicing, or it's talking to people. People are actually outside now, like whether you're mask on or mask off, like interacting with people in real life. You
Hmm.
can do that now. People are outside, whether it's taking a trip, whether it is trying a new skill, whether it's getting certified in something, whatever you're doing, except scamming. Don't scam. Like, don't
Don't
do that.
scam.
Don't do that. But
Don't be
when
that
when
user.
you want to build those new habits, it's just good to do it in the springtime. It just makes more sense to do it in the springtime
Okay. Okay.
instead of, because I don't know how many times I have tried to start a habit in December, in
In the cold
January.
months.
Yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm going to do this and actually stick with it.
Hmm. I'm trying to
No.
think when I started doing yoga, and I think that was maybe summer, like last summer.
Hmm.
Yeah, because it was around the time that I had downtime, and that became a daily habit. And then I'm trying to think of habits that I tried to form in the cold times, and there are none because I don't normally try to form habits. So
It's hibernation time. You are
there's
trying
that.
to preserve all the energy that
Yeah.
you have. And
Why don't
even
we
if you're
hibernate?
journaling, huh?
Why don't we hibernate? We should be hibernating. Everybody
Capitalism.
gets tired and depressed the time of year anyway because we're supposed to be
Capitalism.
asleep.
Capitalism.
Hmm. Kids should have a
Capitalism.
winter break just like they have 2 months off for summer. They should have December and January off
I
for.
wish we can have year round school again. Like, not even gonna lie. two
I never
months on, one
experienced
month
it.
off. You have it?
No, because we Oakland never did year-round school. We
Oh,
were always in Oakland Public.
Contra Costa did. Yeah. You were in Alameda County? No.
Then we were in
Yeah.
Oakland Unified School District.
Oh, okay. We were at Contra
Yeah,
Costa.
and
And
then yeah, we didn't go to
I'm sorry,
Contra
West
Costa
Contra
until sixth
Costa.
grade.
Yeah. It was, well, by sixth grade they had gotten rid of year round
Oh,
school.
okay.
Um, but I think they only did year round school through fourth. I think our fourth, but yeah, because I wasn't a year ahead of you until seventh grade.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, we did year round school. We had 2 months on, 1 month off. I liked it because I liked being in school. And when we were out of school, we had like enough time to recharge and do summer camps, or do like camps and stuff like that. And then we were
Yeah.
back in school. And so it felt like, for me, it felt like I was in school all the time. But I
Hmm.
specifically have a memory. I have a specific memory of my mother saying that she's glad the year that they switched from year round to regular school, which is weird. They called it year round versus regular school. When they switched to the regular school year, my mom was like, "Oh my gosh, I'll be so happy when they go to regular school, because it feels like they're out of school more now than they are
Hmm.
than they're in school." And I was like, "But how, we're in school for 2 months for every month that we're out?" But I felt like I was in school at the time. But I really like school. I was on the yellow track, and each track was off a different month of the year. So
Okay.
yeah, I don't know why they wanted to switch me to blue track, and then no, I was on blue track, and then I went to yellow track, and I didn't like my teacher. That's why I wanted to switch back to blue track.
What was her
But
name?
that's neither. So I had a couple teachers. Mrs. Smith was like, I didn't really, I didn't really get along with her that well, and then Mr. Hammock, oh my gosh,
I'm surprised that she's naming the
he
teacher.
he
Shaming.
made my life pain. Oh, and then I had him again in seventh grade, and then I had him again in I had him again in seventh grade, and I had him again in my sophomore year in high school. I
Hmm.
was like, I can't get away from this man. I can't get away. Like, why do they keep putting my no? But yeah, starting new habits, I feel like in the darker months. It doesn't there's no like real. what do you call it? Gauge of like success. No, that's not
Hmm.
what I'm trying to say. Progress. Is
Hmm.
that what I'm say? The tracking of success, the progress. Yes, it's hard to track progress in the darker months. Like if you're not doing something that has like an end goal, like if you are going back to school, if you are trying to learn to cook, I don't
Hmm.
know. What are some new skills that people would, or new skills or habits that people would try to develop? Even learning languages. I feel
Journaling,
like,
like you said earlier, like being
yeah,
consistent with that kind of thing. Um,
yeah, no, just now that it's springtime, and now is
mhm.
the time to try those things. Whether you want to be not a creator, a content creator.
You having
I don't
some
know why.
senior moments tonight, aren't you?
My words.
You sound what's it called?
What's the
What you
thing?
call it?
What's the thing?
You
What?
know, you know
This is what
the
happens.
what's that
Let
young
me tell
man?
you
What's
something. The
she's
sad
stepping
thing
into the
is,
auntie role.
my sleep has been off for the last 2 weeks, or sorry, for the last week and a half, because the half of last week was fine,
Hmm.
and then um the a few days before my flight, I don't like, if I leave early, I don't sleep. And so when I took the flight,
Hmm.
I didn't have any sleep. And then I get back home and I couldn't, my sleep patterns just never got into a routine. So what I did was I
Yeah,
start trying to go to sleep like later, like right now it's like what, 11,
yeah,
and I'm like trying to go to sleep later so I can sleep later or sleep through the night, and it's not. I still wake up about 4 or 5. It's like, oh, 4 or 5 hours of sleep or 5 or 6 hours of sleep, you're fine. Like you got enough sleep. And then I end up taking a longer or multiple naps throughout the day, not just my one good nap.
hmm.
It's multiple naps throughout the day. And then I'm like, okay,
36 hit hard, huh?
it did. Like, let me tell you something.
Like, interestingly, interesting thing about sleep that I learned from the pain management clinic, where I'm buying into everything that they sell me. It's a cult at this point. Um,
Apparently.
he talked about how the new psychology, the pain psychologist, talked about how the new science is that the 8 hours of sleep thing, 8 hours a night, that's a myth basically, and that
Yeah.
it's not about the quantity of sleep that you get, it's the quality. So even if
Right.
I found that for me, if I sleep, not eat, if I sleep 8 hours, if I eat 8 hours, that's a happy day for me. But if I sleep 8 hours, that's like I wake up feeling worse. If I'm at stop laughing.
I didn't say anything.
What you call it? I didn't say anything. I said stop laughing.
What?
But I found that if I get like maybe 5 or 6 hours of sleep, I
Hmm.
feel good, which is weird. Like it's really weird. But just even letting go of that mindset of that I need to sleep like 8 hours, otherwise I am gonna feel like crap or I'm not doing it right. So do you know how much sleep is optimal for you? Like when you get a good night of sleep, how much
Five or
is it,
six
8 hours?
hours.
5 or 6?
5 or 6. And that's,
Yeah.
I think my frustration is not that my frustration is that I'm not a morning person.
Right. That's
But
exactly it.
but I
Like
wake up at 5 or 6 without an
this
alarm
I'm not
because
doing anything before the sun comes up, and I'm just gonna lay
no.
there. So I'm like, okay, let me just go back to sleep. Like,
Right. That's what I'm like, okay, it is 5:30. Let me, okay, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead, drink some water, take my
mhm,
vitamins. I'm not going to turn on the TV. I'm not going to turn on the computer. I'm not going to get on my phone. I'll just play
mhm.
some music. And then I'll lay back down. An hour later, I am still wide awake.
Yes, it's like
And
the mentality for me. I'm not a morning person, but for whatever reason, my body is insistent that I am going to become a morning person.
right, right.
And I don't want to become that person that
And
in
I
their
have
late
been
30s.
fighting that.
I don't want to become that person that in their late 30s and like, oh, I get up at 6:30 in the morning now and I have my coffee and I'm doing great. No, let me hold on to this one vestige of my youth, which is I wake up at 10 o'clock and
I
that's
am a night
perfect.
owl. There's no reason I should be a
I'm not
night owl
losing this. I
and a
have a
morning bird at
tattoo.
the same time.
I have a tattoo that says seize the night. I can't let go of this.
I
So
just like
yeah.
I never thought about articulating it that way, but that makes so much sense
Mhm.
because I mean, well, the sleep study, and it's not when you say new science, it's like new within the last 20 years.
Yeah.
And but that's when that remember I don't know if you remember when I was telling you about this a while ago. This is when I had very high hopes that I could actually work 3 jobs still in my 30s and um teach at the same time. I don't know why I thought I would be able to do that, but it was like go to school, work 3 jobs, and I'll be fine. But bifastic sleep, which is your sleep is essentially broken up into 2 sections of the day. So you may sleep 3 or 4 hours at night and then 3 or 4 hours in the afternoon. With whatever you have going on. But when you look at
Mhm.
other cultures, they just sleep when they get tired, just like
Yeah.
they eat. They don't have like breakfast, lunch, dinner. They just eat when they get
Mhm.
hungry. And so I feel like now listening more to my body, paying attention to how my body responds, which is why I was more interested in doing, if I was going to build new skills, new habits, set resolutions, or whatever the case, new goals, like it
Mhm.
made sense to do when my body felt great, which was
Yeah.
in the
In
springtime.
the spring. Yeah.
And so I was going to start doing bifastic sleep.
Mhm.
But what I'm noticing is that I do, it doesn't matter how what time I go to bed. I am waking up like I get tired for real at like 11:30. I can
Mhm.
stay up till 1 or 2, but
Mhm.
then I'm like, I mean, it's just me. What where am I? I live in the suburbs. There's nothing going on here, right?
Nothing's happening at 1 and
So
2 except for me in this
right,
house.
like everything closed down around 9. Like there's nothing
Mhm.
else going on. Miss you, Seattle. So um so I'm like, let me just go to bed around 11. Like I've watched all the things I'm going to watch. I've watched as much social media as I thought that I wanted to, a couple hours a day or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I go to sleep around 11, again, I'm waking up at 6. If I go to
Mhm.
sleep at midnight, I'm waking up at 6, 7. Like the latest I'll get up is 7.
Yeah.
And most of the time I'm up around 5 or 6, and I have nothing to do, but I'm wide awake and I'm not
Yeah.
logging into work 3 hours early because why?
It's not happening.
I'm not setting that expectation. Who is what?
Right.
I am no. So I try to take longer with my routine. So what I have been doing is trying to um utilize that time to build the habits that I want. So if I have goals like right now, I as some of you know, or some of the listeners know, I just enrolled in school to get my degree in human resources. And so I'll be finishing that next year. Thank God.
Whoop, whoop.
So when I'm up at 5 or 6, even though I don't want to do anything, I have taken steps to be more productive. So
Mhm.
step one, get back into meditation and devotion,
I was gonna
which
ask that. That's
yeah,
literally what I was waiting to ask. Like,
yeah.
how are you making sure that you center yourself at the beginning of the day?
Oh, absolutely. Like that. And that's a good point. Like making sure that your day is set up for success by making sure that you're not going down a to-do list of what you have to do for everyone else, but how are you setting yourself up for success by giving yourself what you need
Mhm.
and doing for yourself what you want to do. So if you're like, man, I really want to go to Cold Stone Creamery because I want to go to Cold Stone Creamery. Like, how are you
Mhm.
going to, set your day up to be able to achieve those things? Or I really want to go to the gym, or I want to connect with this person, or I want to complete this assignment, or I want to meet this goal. And so I started doing devotion, which has led to more meditation. But I
Good.
know if I say I want to do devotion, meditation, homework, and then like shower and work and stuff,
Mhm.
um, I know that automatically that's too much stuff on my plate.
Yeah.
But I know naturally doing devotion, which includes my prayer time, leads to more meditation time, which would lead to me being, by the time I finish with meditation, now I know it's time to start my day so I can do
It's
my
part of
homework.
it creates a ritual
Right.
that gets your day started on a good foot, basically.
Yeah.
That's
So
good.
it's a work in progress, but also why are we mourning people now?
I don't know. Like Jordan, at this point, he's like waking because the dog is waking him up at like 6:30 to go outside. He has acclimated to it. He's gotten to the point where he's like, "Yeah, I'll go to the 7 o'clock gym or class at
I
the gym or
saw
whatever."
that.
And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, like I hear him leaving in the morning. I'm just like, dude, you better than me because
Listen.
I don't start work until 10:30 on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and some days I get out of bed too late to make it to the gym before I start working. And I work from home, so that's saying something. Like it literally is how am I feeling that day? That's I think that's part of the reason why I'm not a morning person. It's like, okay, how am I feeling that day? And then I have to meet that Jason, meet whichever Jason's there that day, like
Mm,
mood wise, um, pain wise, just where my nervous system is that day. Um, and that takes a while. It takes me for about like an hour or two just to figure out like, okay, how am I feeling today? Am I gonna is this gonna be a good day or am I gonna be stiff? Am I gonna be achy? Am I gonna
mm.
be um very grouchy today? What do I want to wear today? Like what face do I want to wear today, basically? Um and I feel like having tasks to do in the morning where I have to this is gonna sound harsh, but where I have to pollute myself with other people's wants and needs and
Yeah.
expectations and stuff, it interrupts my flow and me trying to make sure that I'm where I need to be, like that I'm centered with myself instead of trying to tend to someone else or trying to meet some kind of goal for class. So for some people it works, but I'm more
Yeah.
like you where I have to sit in it for a minute, meditate, maybe stretch a little bit, and then start the day. Like I
Yeah.
can't just jump up and get at it unless I'm running late. But even then, that's an interruption to the ritual. Um,
But I don't know if that's sustainable though. Like I know
it's
parents
not
do it all the time. I know
what that get up
there
and go
are
type thing.
where they're up and like, oh man, I got to get up, get the kids on the bus, get the kids to school,
Yeah.
make sure they have breakfast, and even with people going to work, would they have like, oh, they have this meeting, they have this, they have that. Like I'm gonna tell you something.
Mhm.
Work does not get me out of bed. That's not
It doesn't.
who I am. Absolutely does not get me out of bed. Yes, I like what I do. Yes, it pays the bills. Um, I'm okay with where I'm at, but it does not get me out of bed. And when you have those external pressures to
Hmm.
perform, especially immediately, it makes it difficult for you to sustain it for a long period of time. And that's how a lot
Yeah.
of people get burnout.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my gosh, if you can just, oh
Oh, I
gosh,
got
I
to do
can't,
this. I got to do
I
this.
gotta take, like there's no break, there's no this. And
Yeah.
they consistently have other people's needs before theirs, because if they
Yeah.
wanted to sleep in they couldn't, because maybe they
Everything
have
will
to
fall
drive their
apart.
spouse to work. Yeah. And if
Yeah.
they don't get their spouse to work, then it's going to be a problem, and this and that. And it's just like, it's a lot. And so that's why it's like I can appreciate the space and time that I'm in right now, where I can focus on, all right, Leah, what do you want to do?
Yeah.
And I can, but also be have that accountability or responsibility with myself of not um
Excuse me.
procrastinating as long, because it would take,
Yeah.
because typically when this first started happening it would take me 3 or 4 hours to get out of bed, because
Same.
I'm up at 6. And then why do I have to be up at 6? Like I
Hmm.
no. And so I
And
don't have
that's
to sign into work till 9. Why no.
that's I think that's part of the problem. Like we look at it from an analytical, knowing who both of us are. We're like, okay, why am I waking up at 6? Instead of just accepting, like, okay, yeah, I'm waking up at 6. How can I start my day? Instead of we're
Mm,
looking at it backwards, where it's like, okay, why am I waking up so early? How can I not wake up so early? Instead of us meeting where it's at. You know what I mean?
right. because I'm not waking up
Um,
early, like exhausted, like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, I woke up in the middle of a sleep cycle and I
yeah,
can't get back to sleep. Like, I'm rested. I am wide
right. Like I
awake.
feel good for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes. It was a good night of sleep, but it's not when I plan to wake up, like waking up
Right.
before the alarm and stuff. Um,
Right. So I'm trying to get out of the habit of napping. So
mhm.
before I went to church,
Ooh,
I will go to sleep at I woke up at 5.
Leah loves her naps. You guys know
5
this.
a.m., 5:30, 5 or 5:30. I woke up. No, I woke up at 5
Wait,
and
PM
I
or
went
AM because you guys went to
AM.
church. Oh,
Yeah. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was like, I am not going to sunrise service. I got some
that's not who
water.
we are.
Um, in case I wanted to do anything, and I think this is what helps me. In case I wanted to do anything, I drink my water and I wash my face.
Mm.
And I brush my teeth because I don't want to go to bed back to sleep with funky breath. So I'll
Hmm.
go brush my teeth and then I'll get back in the bed and I'll take a nap for like an hour or two.
Hmm.
And then I get up again to start my day. But I'm trying to get out of that after wake up nap so that I can
Yeah, that
actually get my day started.
yeah. One thing that I found has helped me a lot just with not really feeling like I have too many expectations, like starting work early. I don't I don't set up to have any meetings or appointments like right when I start work, like at 9 o'clock or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. I
Yeah.
make sure that I don't tutor that early. I don't have meetings that early or anything like that. Like I'd like to step into work and get a feel for what's going on first, get my pacing, and then start interfacing with people.
Right. Right.
I realize
Let
that
me
with every
settle
process though.
out.
Yeah, let me settle in for a minute. Let me see how the waves are moving, see what's going on. If it's chaotic, let me jump in, but not have to try to save somebody else at the same time.
Oh, I'm absolutely not jumping in. If it's chaos, let me get my popcorn. What happened? Who did what? Somebody catch me up on the
I'm
news.
so
What's
far
happening?
removed. I'm
Oh
so
my
far removed
gosh.
from all the drama and stuff. I love hearing about all the drama in our offices.
Isn't
But
it like cool from like you get to watch through the plexiglass? Like you don't have to
yeah,
like you're on the other side of the mirror. You don't have to be involved at
right.
all.
My thing
But
is all the drama that's happening like in proximity to my center, quite frankly, I don't get paid enough to care to be in the drama. Like I do not. Like it's above my pay grade, far above my pay grade.
you
So
better
I can
say
just
something.
watch
Listen.
it and I can see it. I think I've said it a few times to like one of my coworkers, the person who's my direct equal, basically. I'm
Hmm.
like, quite frankly, I don't get paid enough to worry about this stuff. So let me know what's going on with it. And she's like, now that I think about it, I don't either. So I'm like, you dial it back, I'll dial it back.
Listen, act your wage, okay? Act your
Yeah.
wage.
I don't complain about how much I make at this point. I don't make a lot. We know that because I work in education. You do the math. But I have learned
Gosh. Oh my gosh.
I have learned to sacrifice financial prosperity for happiness with what I do. I like what I do, but I also recognize that there are certain things that I don't have to worry about because of how lackluster the pay is.
Mm,
Um, and that's okay.
yeah.
That's fine. I'm happy with what I do for the most part.
Yeah,
Uh,
and it's not anything that you have to like justify to anybody. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like we're
I'm so
at that
far beyond
age
that.
of just like like people are just like, so what are you gonna do? I remember when I first said I wanted to be a teacher, I wanted to go into
Mhm,
education, and I didn't know what he meant until after I told my parents what he said.
mhm.
Um, he said, "You know what poverty is?" I was like, "Yeah." He said, "You better get used to it," and I was
Dang.
like,
Who was this?
somebody at church.
Oh,
It was like one of the older deacons or whatever, and I was
yeah.
just like, uh, okay, but yeah. So it's. I'm glad that we have like moved past that and we're matured past trying to get other people to buy in
Mhm.
to our own journey. It feels really good to
It does.
just do it because we love it. Like whether it leads to something great or something mediocre or nothing at all. Like I did it because I wanted to do it.
Like I'm good in this moment with it. So
Right.
that's what it is. But about this morning thing, we need to what do we do? Because I would like to experience like a nice long night of sleep again. You know what I mean?
But see, just like you said, sleeping 8 hours can make one tired. I can't,
Yeah.
I used to be able, the only time now in recent months that I've been able to sleep that long is if I don't feel good.
Hmm.
Before, I used to get in a good, I could sleep a smooth 10, 12 hours and
Yeah.
be up and running, right? But now if I do try to sleep, I'll be sluggish and need to sleep more to sleep off the previous sleep.
Like
And
a
so
sleep hangover.
yeah, right, exactly a sleep hangover. So I feel like this is a moment to embrace this,
Yeah.
knowing that we're still both night owls,
I think
obviously
that'll
because of how
be,
late we're recording.
yeah.
But
I mean, for you, it's super late.
yeah, but I feel
I had some
like,
concerns about
but I feel like with the new schedule, the what is it called, circadian rhythm
that.
that our bodies are on, using that to our advantage.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
I don't feel like I've wasted the day, but I know that when I do have that time before the sun comes up, because I am not getting out of bed to
Hmm.
be active in any part. And maybe it could be that because I have been looking for a gym, like a circuit training or CrossFit gym to go to that
Hmm.
has like a good schedule. But if I'm going to be consistent in getting up at 5, it makes sense that I would just go to CrossFit in the morning,
Hmm.
but or go do circuit training or something in the morning. But I'm not there yet. I'm still with meditation. I'm slowly
How
building.
do you meditate in bed or do you get out of bed to meditate?
um it depends.
Okay.
Mostly I'm in bed because I haven't set up my, remember how we were talking about our Zen space in our
Yeah.
bedrooms? I haven't set up my Zen space yet.
Mm.
And so I'm working to set that up because that will be the place that I will get out of bed to go to. But
Okay.
I like that I can I'm not laying on the floor. I can lay in the bed,
Hmm.
um without the covers on me and be in my meditative position
Like
and
do
do
the
my deep
scans and stuff.
breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then my body, like I can feel my body like relax and go through those kind of meditative states.
Hmm.
And that helps me. And I have been able to do it like before. After about 5 or 6 minutes, I would go back to sleep. But
Hmm.
now I'm like able to do it for like 15, 20 minutes and and get a full meditative session in,
Hmm.
and then kind of decide if I want to go back to sleep or get up and start my day.
How long do you typically wait before you start the process? This is the advice section because I want some advice on building this ritual and routine for myself in the morning. How long do you
Um,
typically are you typically awake before you begin that process?
I have to make the decision as soon as I wake up to do it,
Okay.
because if you give yourself
Like
an
before you grab the
out,
phone?
yeah,
Okay.
if you give yourself an out, you will take the out.
Yeah.
Or if I give myself an out, I will take the out. Oh, let me just see what's going on YouTube. Who posted a new video? Let me check up on what's happening in the news. Let me see, who's new on the Daily Show.
Hmm.
Let me see who posted about this. Da, 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 da.
All these
Um,
distractions.
yeah, and so what I do is I don't give myself the opportunity to make that decision. Like the decision is already made. Okay, I'm up. Am I actually up or am I kind of groggy up? No, I'm actually up. Okay, I'm actually up.
I'm
Let
alert.
me let me get my and that's why I want to create a Zen corner so that I can
Yeah.
start journaling, because that's mostly what I would use that for. But right now I set my Google to play my music and like the meditative music. I do my
Mhm.
devotion, read my scripture, say my prayers, and then go into meditation. And
Mhm.
so I don't really give myself too much time between the time that I know that I'm alert. I don't know what you're looking at, but it's freaking me out a little bit.
I heard thumping, but yeah, go
Oh,
ahead.
okay.
I thought I did.
Okay. But yes, so I don't give myself too much time between the time that I realize that I'm alert.
Yeah,
It's like automatically, okay, I realize that I'm awake. Let me go ahead and grab my devotion, and so that I'm not like looking at social media, get distracted
yeah.
by, other stuff that our phones have on them.
It's like, let's do this. Let's just do it. It's just a reflex. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I'm gonna try that tomorrow.
It helps to have a plan, because this is also what um someone else was talking about, having a plan, so when a situation occurs, you're not essentially punched in the face and trying to figure out what to do.
Yeah, you
So,
already have the plan in place. You know what to do when
right.
the plane is going down.
For example, waking up. I know when I wake up, I want to do my devotion first. Yes, there are
Mhm.
days where I don't do my devotion first because I'm feeling a little crappy and I want, I want some music that's going to make me feel good.
Yeah.
So I may skip, or push it out for an hour or so, or I may turn around and go back to sleep.
Mhm.
Um, but just like how if you're allergic to peanuts and you were to be in an environment, you have to check before you get the food. Hey, does this have peanuts in it? Or
Mhm.
if you're in a situation with someone who may cause you harm, like, to avoid that situation, to not
Mhm.
be around that person by yourself. There are so many things that you have to make the decision before it happens. So when you're trying to develop new habits, new skills, when you know that hurdles, like you get bored, or you are stuck, or you feel like you've reached
Yeah.
a hurdle that you can't get over, have your accountability partner on the phone, have your mentor available to you, set
Sorry.
some things in place, maybe take a step back from it and come back to it. Maybe 7 a.m. is not the best time for you. Maybe
Right.
7 p.m. you're more alert for it. Like, there's other things to do. Just make a plan so that when you do reach a hurdle in creating new skills and habits, that that hurdle is not going to keep you from achieving your goal. It takes
Mhm.
62 days for a human being to create a habit. And if you can make it to day 63, you have created muscle memory for that habit to continue. So I know there's a lot of books that's 21-day habit, but um, there are a few human behavioral scientists that I follow who all agree that 62 days is the magic number for a habit to be created.
Mhm.
I don't know
Okay.
why people are like, oh, 21-day habit, but it doesn't. No 21-day habit that I've tried has ever stuck. There's not a one, and I've tried quite a few.
One 21-day habit that might stick. Drugs. Drugs. It's long enough to become Wanda Dean.
Oh gosh, no, 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 no.
Holiday, I got
No.
the bike. I got the bike.
Bless
I'm gonna
her,
try it.
bless
Bless
her.
her.
I
Bless
I
her.
want I want us
I
to
want
just
Robert
recognize.
Townsend in jail for directing that movie.
Wait, that was Robert Townsend's movie.
Robert Townsend directed that
Why
movie.
do they always do Alfre Woodard like that? Why is she always a crackhead?
Why is she always taking these roles?
Why,
Um,
like, it's like the opposite of Megan Good being typecast as a girlfriend all the time. Like, I don't understand, why did they do Alfre Woodard? Like, now that she's older, she's playing somebody's mother, but
mhm.
ma'am made her. She made her living playing crackheads. She was. Well, around that time she was in Crooklyn too, but she just did just too good of a job in that movie, and I just can't unsee it.
Bless her. Bless her. Bless her.
Alfre Woodard. I've never been able. Okay, so real quick before we go, Lorenz Tate, Alfre Woodard are two people where I can't just like imagine people calling them just by their first names.
Alfred. Alfred.
That's not.
It
It,
sounds incomplete.
yeah, it just goes together. Her name is Alfre Woodard. Like, if I
Mm-hmm.
met her, I would call her, Mrs. whatever, Alfre Woodard,
Miss Alfred
or,
Woodard.
you know, Mr.
Mr.
Lorenz
Lorenz
Tate.
Tate.
I can't
Lorenz
say
Tate.
Lorenz.
ailerons. Yeah, it's like there's something missing from it.
Right. Like
So
there in the real life example of this, there's a drummer. His name is Wilson Brooks. We were introduced as Minister Wilson Brooks. I can
mhm.
never not call him Minister Wilson Brooks. He's all and my siblings do the same thing. We all call him Minister Wilson Brooks. It's never been Minister Brooks, Minister Wilson, or Mr. Wilson. It's never is Minister Wilson Brooks. And he's like, why do your kids call me by my whole name? Like he just like when he came over to the house, he was asking my dad. It's just like, why do they call me by my whole name? It goes together. That's what you introduce us as. Like
You did this. We're
Minister
just being
Wilson Brooks.
respectful.
Yeah, that's all it is. Like just call him by his whole government. Just by Minister Wilson
Mr.
Brooks.
Wilson Brooks.
I hope you've been inspired in this episode to create new habits and not feel bad when your body is doing things like only sleeping for 5 or 6 hours a night. Or
Yeah,
if your body is sleeping longer and using that time to rest and rejuvenate and all those great things. That's
that's
a good
fine.
thing, right?
Listen to your body.
Yeah, use your circadian rhythm to its advantage. Don't think of it as a bad thing. I mean, we're night owls living as early birds. So,
Yeah,
what is life really?
it's against our will, really.
That's
We're like
honestly what it is. That's
we're like
honestly what it
morning refugees or something, or nighttime refugees. We don't have a
is.
home in this early hour, but we will make peace and make do with what we have.
That's honestly where we're at right now.
Yeah,
But yes, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Take a Space Podcast. Please make sure you follow Jason at JJ_Newberry on all social media, the
all of them.
TikToks, the Instagrams, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the Tweeters.
All of it.
However long Twitter is going to be around. I don't even know how long Twitter.
There's at least one where it's not underscore, but I mean, if you find that one, then I guess you win a lottery or something. So I don't know which one it is. Take your
No,
guess.
all of them were because
No, I think Visco isn't.
I was gonna say Visco, but I thought Visco was underscore, but maybe not. Maybe
It
I'm
might
wrong.
be.
I
I
thought.
don't know. You
But
try
JJ
it out.
underscore Newberry on all the socials. Just type
Yeah,
it in till you find them. And
you'll
then you
see
can
my
follow
mug.
us at Take Up Space Pod. That's Take Up Space POD on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're also on TikTok and YouTube. Make sure you please subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. Share with a friend because you need an accountability partner. And this, I think, is a good way for both of you to decide to embark upon a journey together. Or at least you
Yes.
can help, get to your goal a lot easier. That's what happens when you have a friend. Any parting words, Jason?
Um, Not connected to anything that you said,
Okay.
but I think I might begin a crusade to officially change the name of your podcast to TUSP. I don't know. I
Now,
think I could probably do like a change.org petition. Maybe get Biden.
I don't think
TUSP.
Biden would
TUSP. You can just
that.
say, welcome to
See that now
TUSP.
that sound like some medication.
Just
Yeah.
imagine Wilford
Yeah.
Brimley saying,
No. I'm not doing that. No. Stop
you got,
it. Stop it.
you got gout, get your TUSP.
Gosh. It sounds like Tussie. Like that old deodorant. The old
I don't
school
know what that
deodorant.
is.
Tussie?
I sure don't, but I'm gonna Google it. You can hang up on them now if you want.
Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.